Hi traders, this is Forex Nelson. I'm back again today with another training video for how I trade live, advanced trading tips. This is going to be video number 4. It's actually number 4. And today's date is September the 23rd. It was a really great day for trading. I ended up doing 14 trades today. Now I did come to the conclusion of trying to do the video before, like analyzing the charts and putting in the trades. For the past couple of videos I was missing trades, I was getting in the trades too late. So when the market is moving, by the time I go through everything, I could be losing a lot of pips and ticks. In other words, it's much harder and much time consuming to do it in that order. So I've gone and completed 14 trades. Now I'm going to show you why I took the trade. And first off, every morning at 6 o'clock, right here where this vertical line is, I am putting together actually two daily trade plans. There's a Word document, and within 3 or 4 weeks I'm not going to do it anymore, as I'm just going to be producing the EA. It's not hard to produce. All you got to do is pull up a chart, any chart, and then apply the daily trade plan EA. Now I have one for futures, like after 11 o'clock in the morning. If I wish to continue trading, then I only work on the futures. And those pairs happen to be within the default right here. And the Pro Trader here running 21 instruments, and then of course the daily trade plan. We can take a look at that. Here it is here. Now between 6 and 7 I am taking this screenshot. And this is the one that I'm starting off with. Now keep in mind that as the market's moving along, 30 minutes later this column can change, 1 hour later this column can change, 4 hours later then all 3 columns can change. So basically when you think you're going to be trading within the next 30 minutes or so, pull it up, look up the instrument that you're interested in, and then you're just going to pull up the charts and see if there's a setup. Now remember, try, if it's bear, well, first off, everything is bearish except the dollar CAD, and which I traded also the dollar CAD, like I bought it. So remember, you must have some kind of a trade plan. If you know how to make one, great. If not, this is a fantastic expert advisor, and it runs in real time. If you're trading at 8 in the morning or 11 o'clock or London or whatever, just pull this up and it'll point you what you should at least be looking at. And by the way, every trade I took were taken directly from this trade plan. So keep in mind that these arrows, that's part of the super signal. You'll get an audio alert. If you have it, you'll get an audio alert and a pop-up box telling you all this information. So now we can get into these trades. Okay, pound dollar, it's the first one I pulled up here, and it's the first one at the top. And put them all in order here from least amount to the maximum amount of money, as you can clearly see. You just click on this tab right here and it puts it in order. So I took all of these trades, and after 6, after 7, after 8, and let's see, anything after 9, looks like this one right here. I finally had to wait for the cycle to actually get in the trade on the dollar CAD. So as I talk about the trade and as I think of different things, I'll repeat it. Some of the things I'll be repeating a dozen times over, but Try to remember everything I'm telling you. The meter, it's a bus driver right now for the pound. Remember, 20% or less is a bus driver. 20%, 80% or higher is a bus driver. And no wonder why this one, look at it, did 272 pips within this blue box. So right where this line is, the first thing I would have seen, just pretend you don't see all of this. You know, these two moving averages are diverging. Goal line is going down. They're both going down. And down at the bottom here, the MACD dots are below the Bollinger Bands, and it's below the midpoint, which is indicating, going to do a cycle down, then it rests, and then it continues down. So you want to see as many of these things turning red when you're pulling the trigger, or you're getting a signal. Now, the signal was from back here, whereas everything is perfect. See, it's red, 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 red dot. You got the arrow. So it made a move. Now, I didn't catch this move, so I must wait until it comes back within the moving averages or as close to the goal line as possible. Remember, the magic word is pullback. So we're waiting for the pullback. And then once it hits, close enough to the goal line, if you are an aggressive trader, this is where you're going to pull the trigger. Because if you pull the trigger here, there's your stop. So that's 43 pips. Where I pulled the trigger, well, again, the stop is a little bit bigger, around 60. So, went against me 21 pips, not a big deal. And it could have went back even higher. And I could have made a lot more. Now, the way I trade is I'm kind of looking at the money down here at the bottom. When I have a feeling I got 200 or more pips and ticks, and just to let you know that this is going to be well over 500, so I was very happy with that. And so I'm not going to worry about what I left, pips that I left on the table. So let's see where I got in at on this. Well, it's the pound dollar, so I just happen to know euro dollar, pound dollar. If the dollar is on the right hand side, it pays $10 for each pip, and so this should be 18. As soon as I can find, it's going to give me a hard time here. It's because it's such a short move. There it is there. Got to line up the cursor and everything properly. So it's 18 18 pips times $10 times 10 lot. You can see it paid $1,800. Now another good tip is, which I can explain, if once you're in the trade, and if you're not doing a whole bunch like me, you can stay in the trade until the two indicators down at the bottom here, that happens to be the bulls and the bears and the HA bars, when they both turn blue. So in other words, at this point in time, which is 1 o'clock, it's going on 4 minutes to 1 o'clock, you could still stay in the trade, but I don't know about you, but I'm not going to hang around for a number of hours just to try to grab a few more pips. And, I'm sure you'd be happy with more than 160 pips. But I was happy at this point, so I just closed out the trade. Moving right along, as we have a lot to go through. Dollar CAD, plus I'm trying to give you tips. Now, this is the only one I bought, dollar CAD. Let's see where I got in first of all. Now, I put in the arrow manually, not part of the system. So, put in the arrow to remind me I want to be buying. You have to wait for a pullback either here or here. I waited. Now, the magic word is pullback. Get in the trade anywhere around the goal line. Could be here, 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 here. I managed. This is where I saw it. This is where I got in at. And I closed it out again, just being happy with 28 pips. And of course, you can stay in the trade longer if you want, but I was happy with 28. and 28 pips, paid out $2,065. Okay, moving on to the next trade. It's the pound yen. Here we go. All the rest was selling. Remember, if the 10 moving average, this is it right here, the 10 is below the color MA. This one happens to be at 30, could be 40, could be 50. But when I built this system, I made it at 30. The 50 would be a little bit higher up, and this would be a little bit higher up. But the 10 would remain the same. So everything looks like it's moving on its way down. Let's see where I did get in. And where is it? Here it is here. You must wait for the pullback. That's the magic word. And get in anywhere as close to the goal line as possible. Could have made a lot more. But again, I close out the trade when I'm basically happy. And it looks like on this day, well, I could have made over 200, but I was happy with, looks like, let's get this on right. Looks like about 30. Let's just round it out to 30, nice even number. 30 on this one, pips paid out, times the 10 lots, paid out $2,098. Okay, let's move on to the next trade, the Dow Jones. Now, this one pays $5 on each tick, so I took the money and just divided it by 5, and the calculator did say it was 43. So 2 arrows reminds me it's a preferred trade. The moving averages are diverging, which represents downward pressure. From this point, we have a lot of red. These bars are well below the midpoint here, the timing indicator. So let's see where I got in first of all. So there's the super signal. So remember, if you have the super signal, this is your setup candle. When it goes from blue to red, everything red, 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 and the TZ is going down. So this is your setup candle right here, and you're going to take the trade on the next candle. Now if it happens to go up to here, well, that's where you're going to take the trade, and the arrow will follow it. And by the way, these arrows do not repaint. I've had a few traders asking me about that. So setup candle, get in, and what did I say? It was 43. Could have made a lot more. Look at this, 370 approximately, and there's your 43. So could have made a lot more, and anyhow, I was happy with 43 times the $5 times the lots, paid out $2,150. Okay, moving on to another trade I took. It was the pound New Zealand. Here it is here. Wanted to be selling it. Remember how important a daily trade plan is. Let's see where I got in at. Made a move, went sideways, and then it's continuing to move. Now I knew with 95% certainty it's going to go down. Now how do I know that? Well, first thing is the daily trade plan. Second thing is the MACD right here. These dots are below the minimum. You know, some traders would say it's got to, you got to be below the Bollinger Bands, but I don't, I wanted to see the midpoint, and which, by the way, this line here will change colors, either blue to red or red to blue, but as long as the MACD, the dots are below, and then of course look at the bars, mostly red down here, we're below the midpoint, the 50. There's a lot of things here. Look at, you got 1, 2, 3, TZ, well, it can only stay flat. Dots are red, the line is red. So now I was waiting for the pullback as close to the goal line as possible. Now another little thing that you can do is let's just run a check on this. Where I pulled the trigger right here. So in other words, from here, 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 or here, you can actually drop it down to the 5 minutes and see what that produces. You'll be closer to the goal line. There is the line right there, and look at that, it hit the goal line right there. See that? And by the way, if you've got these little cursors, the arrows, and when you're changing the time frame, it will mess up the meter. Don't worry, the meter's not broken or anything. Anytime you want to clear up everything on your charts, all you got to do is apply the template. Now here is my Pro Trader, the original one, with meter and no meter. And then I added the Super Signal. That's what SS stands for. And by the way, if you buy this special limited, if you have the special limited time offer, then you'll have this. I've already put it together for you. So this is with the meter and no meter. If I hit this right now, it'll clean up all the charts and make the meter looking fantastic. So I took the trade here, and let's run a check to see how many pips I got. Could have got more than 180, but I was happy with. Let's run one more check here again. Approximately around 53 or 52. That's the midpoint of the cursor. So it's 52 pips times the money times the 10 lots paid out, 2,959. And I made a slight error, and when I was clicking over here, this little window right here, when you drop this down, if you click on it, and I made a mistake, I hit the sell button twice, so it put in 2 orders. But I didn't care, because I was 95% sure, and glad I did, because now look, it's around $5,000 because I did it twice. So that is the one time for 52 pips, and just to let you know, I did exactly the same thing right here. If I drag and drop this up, you're going to see the same thing, one sitting right on top of the other right here. So 52 again. There it is there, 52. And this one, because it took me, a couple of seconds later, made a little bit of the price different, which was 2,960. So not a big difference there. Moving right along to the S&P 500, double arrow, reminding me that is very like a preferred trade. Let's drag and drop this up. Could have made a lot more if I hung around, but I got things to do. I'm doing videos, talking to traders. So, I'm just trading once I'm happy, and then I'm doing videos and talking to traders. So I took the money divided by 5, and it came up with 62. So this was your setup candle. That's your trigger candle. The lines are diverging, going down. Qualified for a great way to trade. And could have made a lot more, just to let you know. 400 and whatever that is, 470. But I ended up with, I believe, 62. If I can get it on. It's so hard to get it. And by the way, when the price does the pullback, that's the magic word, and you're going to get in as close to the goal line as possible. But I knew it had a chance to go back to there, and I wasn't too worried about it. Might be a little bit hard to get this rate on. What did I say? 62. Well, it's going to be very hard to show you, and I don't feel like dropping it down to the 5 minutes. But the number was 62 times 5 times 10 lots, paid out $3,125. Moving on to the next trade, pound dollar. This one pays $10 for each pip. Let's see where I got in at. It was a preferred trade. This super signal from back here, right here, this one, sell. And so I pulled the trigger knowing that it can go sideways, knowing that it could go back and touch the goal line. But I wasn't too worried about it. Could have made a lot more. Down to here alone is about 180. But I was happy with, let's see, pound dollar. Got in at this cursor and out over here. Another one that's going to be hard to get it right on. But there it is there, 33. I think my mouse is starting to act up. Anyhow, it's 33 times $10 times 10 lots paid $3,300. Moving on to the next trade, that's the pound cat. Here we go. Today was a good day of trading. They all look kind of the same, you know, diverging the moving averages. Let's see now. Made a move down after the sell signal. Then it went flat, came back to the moving averages. And I knew that that could happen. But I pulled the trigger, got in the trade, and let's see. 56 it looks like. So 56 pips times the 10 lots paid out $4,057. Another tip is these two lines right here. That's the ADR high, ADR low. Over here, if you can focus, ADR is 93 and today went 404. In other words, from here all the way down to here, that happens to be 404. And it just goes to show, you know, some people would say, oh, once it hits the ADR, don't expect a lot more. And on some days that is correct. But the market being very random and depending on what's going on in the world, as at this point in time, everyone knows the war in Ukraine, well, you know, it's causing a lot of price action. So things like that you have to be aware of, and don't forget, keep an eye on the calendar at Forex Factory. You don't want to be surprised by any kind of high impact news. Moving on to gold. Remember, gold pays $10 on each tick. And there's the arrow. Gold line's going down. The moving averages are diverging. We're having sell signals. More of them here and here. And another good tip is, remember, don't sell here. Because all you got to do is measure back to the goal line. And would you be happy to be down more than 160 pips? If the answer is no, wait till it hits the goal line. It's quite simple. Don't make trading difficult. Now, I took the trade here knowing that it can go back to the goal line. Now, that's around 75 or whatever it is, and that doesn't bother me. But if it bothers you, then don't take the trade. And so as you could see, it did a big drop there. I wasn't paying attention. Distractions around the house, having coffee and breakfast, and the way it is. But I know that it's going to go down. Even if I don't catch it here, I'll catch it over here. Not a big deal. And even if you're taking the trade here, that's producing 140 pips. I took the trade here, and I closed it out just being happy with around 40, around 42. And so that's close enough. It's actually 40 because it pays $10. It would be 41.7. So you times that by $10, that times the 10 lots paid out $4,170. And of course, another thing I've noticed over many years, once it comes back to the goal line, and I'm just waiting for price reversal, and on this candle, that's a price reversal. Now, you don't want to wait till everything lines up, because at this point you're only going to get around 60 pips. But, you know, nothing wrong with 40, 50, or 60 pips. But the market wouldn't go any further down. The party's over. Keep that in mind. Pound Swiss is the next trade. See how the meter gets... when you've got these little cursors and you have the arrows, it throws everything out of whack. Make sure the cursors are in the right location. There it is right there. And I sold it as everything is screaming. The MACD is below the midpoint here. Lots of red. So it makes a move. Then it goes sideways. And so I finally decided to get in. And I ended up being happy with about around 50. It's around 50. That's pretty close. 50 times the money times the lots paid out $5,120. Moving on to the next trade, Russell. Now this one pays $10 for each tick. And let's see what's happening here. Here it is right here. Double arrows means it's a preferred trade. Two lines moving averages are diverging at this point. And they're both going down. This is your setup candle. Remember, when it goes from blue to red, everything has to be red, 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 and a TZ. That's what the super signal works on. It does not do anything with this indicator. So I took the trade. This candle closed. I heard the alert. I took the trade knowing that it can go back to the goal line, which is about 48 pips. That didn't bother me. If I hung around, I could have made, let's see, Russell, that's around 350 there. But it should show, the money-wise, should show 53. There it is there. You remove the last digit. So 53 times the $10 times the 10 lots paid out $5,300. Moving on to the NASDAQ, which is $20. Same situation, nothing changes. The daily trade plan saying to sell. Moving averages are diverging, going down. Super signal, when this candle right here closes, audio alert, pop-up box, get in. I knew that it could go back. And if I wanted to exercise patience, and if you don't want to suffer through this, then why don't you just wait? Opening bell happens to be right here on this candle. And at the same time, you got the red dot, yellow dot, everything red. What else here? Now, of course, I was in the trade, so I'm not getting in over here, obviously. But I prefer to get in as close to the goal line. But taking the trade here, I knew it could do this, and it didn't bother me. I knew it'll do another cycle, and that's all I'm interested in. The next cycle. And by the way, everything I'm telling you here is cycles and how to trade the flow of the market. And let's see. I took the money and divided it by 20, and it did say 31, and there it is there. You remove the last two digits. So it's 31 ticks times $20 times 10 lots paid out $6,340. And of course, the NASDAQ did not hit the ADR. Here's the high, here's the low, and when it hits it, it'll become a thicker red solid line. So anyhow, we're down to the last one. You know, this video is going to be around 30 minutes or more. Anyhow, crude oil. Crude oil. $10 for each tick. So here we go. Again, same thing. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm looking at this. The daily trade plan is screaming to sell preferred. So, where did I get in? Made a move down, rested, back to the moving averages. Anywhere across here is fine. I did not want to wait to see the arrow, because the arrow's back here. So get in the T area. T stands for trade entry area. Let's see. So I got in here, a little bit lagging. That's the reason why I cannot slowly go through each and every pair, talk about it. I'm going to be missing these trades. And in the last couple of days, I was missing trades and getting frustrated. So I'm doing these videos after the fact. And let's see, looking at the money, it should be 87. So looks like I'm having a hard time to get 87. 86, 88. Anyhow, it's 87 times $10 times 10 lot, paid out $8,700. So definitely time to wrap up this video. I added up all the pips and the ticks, and it turned out to be more than the 500, as I knew it would be. It turned out to be 750. And most of them were ticks, but you know, I got some pips in there too, and that ended up paying out $54,146. So, as I mentioned, it's time to wrap up this video, and of course, if you have any questions, just get in contact with me, and until the next video, good luck with your trading.